How you doing today, my friends? Long time no talk. I apologize. I have been so overwhelmed with work. As some of you know, I own my own company, and I do landscaping, fences, decks, all that type of stuff. So I have been just so overwhelmed with work that I haven't had a chance to make any videos for you guys. But we're getting a lot of rain nowadays, like the last month. So I'm going to start on my next project here. This is a fence between my property and the people behind me that we just finished. So that got finished. I did work on a couple other projects which you'll see videos on later, but the project at hand right now is we had recently ordered 8 laying hens. We are sick of going to the store and paying upwards of $9 for 12 eggs. And I'm just going to shut this radio off here. And here you can get chicks, female chicks, for 8 of them. It cost me about $15 for the chicks. So I have now started building a chicken coop. We've got this area of our yard. We do have a quite big yard, but and they are going to free range sometimes, but only when we're out here. So they need a place to have lots of room, and I'm making this oversized so that eventually down the road we may get some meat chickens too, just to help out. But the plan is, this is what I've got built so far. Just some deck blocks left over from a job, some 4x4s, and obviously just a basic floor. The inside's going to be OSB, and then the outside is going to be the plywood paneling that looks like paneling. I will show you that once we get to that point. But so the chicken coop's going to be about what is it? 16. It's about 24 feet long, and 25 feet I think is actually what it is. 25 by 10. So that's a large chicken coop that will account for extra birds in the future. This is 4 by 8, so that it's a perfect size for sheets of plywood, and it makes it easy that way. So there'll be a sheet on the bottom, sheets on the sides, and everything is just full sheets except the end. Obviously I can turn them the opposite way and up. So but yeah, so it's really coming along. This took me about an hour and a half to get to this point. These are all leftover 2x6s from a job, from an old deck that I had pulled out. So I'm trying to salvage as much as possible out of this. It is going to be fully insulated because I live in Canada, where it gets down to, you know, minus 25 some winters. So you know, that's pretty cold. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's really, really cold. So I've got to make sure that they have a place for shade under here. This is under a great big blue spruce, so they'll get good shade all the time. But they will be able to go underneath the chicken coop. That's where the feeders are going to be, and I have designs to build my own feeders out of PVC, and same as the water. So yeah. So the next thing is now that I've got the floor framed out, and I mean, I'm making this out of 2x6s, which is probably unnecessary because I mean they're chickens, right? So they don't weigh much at all. So it's not like there's people walking on top of this. So it doesn't have to be super strong. This is strong enough that, you know, I can stand up there if I want. But so yeah, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece of OSB down on the floor, and then I can start framing out the walls. I do not have any plans for this. This is just right off the top of my head. I'm just kind of building it as I go. I build, you know, sheds and all of that type of stuff for a living, so I've done a lot of this over the years. So I'm just kind of going step by step, and I'll bring you guys back through it, and you'll get a chance to see how easy it is to build a chicken coop. I did price them out. Sorry, I'm blabbing on here, but I did price them out. The cheapest chicken coop I could find that would house at least 8 chickens was about $800. Well, altogether, I'm going to have in about $400 in materials in this, so totally worth it. And at, you know, $9 to $10 a dozen eggs, doesn't take long to start paying off that. And I have a large family, and we eat a lot of eggs here. So, but all right, guys. Well, I'm going to get the floor on here, and I'll get the tripod up, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of a time lapse throughout this too. So, but all right. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, my friends, I've now got the first wall all framed up, and I just wanted to show you before I cover it, just so if somebody wants to build this exact one, it's very simple to build. It's the nesting box is 4 feet by 16 inches, and then you just put some supports up in the top there. And then I'm adding a window on this side just so we can check on the birds and stuff like that, and so that they have natural light in there too. I am just using a piece of Lexan, but it's all going to be trimmed out with pine and all trimmed around the outside with pine, so it's going to look really nice. So yeah, the wall is 4 feet by 8 feet, so it's a little bit, actually let me get you an exact measurement here, because there's an overlap. So we're 46 inches. So when I stand this wall up, I want it to come down past this main beam here. So it overlaps about 1.5 inches. So, well, it'll be 2 inches. So it'll overlap 2 inches down here, and that just gives it a nice skirt and kind of closes everything off. So yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do is lay the sheet up on top. I'm not going to worry about cutting out all the holes yet. That I can do after. So yeah, I'm going to get the sheet put on top of here and get it attached, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, well, I am done now framing the other side. I just wanted to bring you back so you can kind of see how it's framed out. I got my great little helper here. And so all I did is on the left side of the coop, I'm making a double door clean out. It may only be a single door. I haven't decided yet. So I'm not sure if I want to do two opening doors or just one big door. Would be easier to seal just one big door, so I may do that. But that gives me a good area to clean out everything. So yeah, that's all done. And it's 3 feet by 3 feet, so if you want a size, that's the size I used, and away you go. So it's really not that difficult to do. I did space it more towards the back of the coop than the front of the coop, because there is a window that's on the other side of this. So yeah, so it is really coming along, guys. Now I have that other one sheeted here and all nailed together. Like I said, there's a little overhang here just to go over onto the side of the joist there. So that's all done, and now I've got to skin this side. And once that's done, then I'm going to do the inside of the walls, because once I close this in, I'm not going to have any way to get those big sheets in there. So yeah, so that's the next thing to do, and we'll be back. Okay guys, I've now got that wall done. Both walls are up, and I've got the holes cut out for the window, the nesting box, and the big clean out door. There also is going to be a guillotine type door on the front here that will go down to a walkway to let them into the coop. That will also be on a rope that I can pull and lift from outside the coop. So yeah, it's slowly coming along. Now I've got to get the inside of this insulated, and then I will get the sheeting on the inside, and then I can finally close in the front and then start on the roof. So it's coming. It's going to be a decent sized coop. I'm sure they'll be happy in there. I'll have several places for them to roost up on, and it should be nice and cozy. In the wintertime, I will have a heat lamp in here, but the wall that it's against has a ton of insulation in it. So by the time I insulate the walls, I'm just going to use pink insulation, and the ceiling I'm going to use rock salt. Rock salt is a lot more expensive, but it does give a better, it will keep your room a lot warmer than the regular pink insulation. So yeah, so that's the plan. I'm going to go track down some insulation, get that put in, and then we'll be back once I get that done. Okay guys, I've now got it all insulated, and I also vapor barriered everything, because I mean, any little draft can make these chickens cold, especially in the middle of winter. So every little bit I put in now will make all the difference come winter, and it will, with a small heat lamp, will stay nice and toasty and warm in here. So yeah, like I said, so I've got it all insulated, all vapor barred. This is all just the pink insulation, and now I'm going to use this OSB here and put that over top and cut it to size, and then do the other side, and then I'll be able to close in this end here. I don't want to do that, like I said, till I have this done here. It'll just make it a lot easier. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, close this wall in, and do the exact same thing on the other side. Cut out the holes obviously when I'm done, and once I get to adding in this end wall, then I'll be back. So okay guys, well, I've now got the inside closed in. I'm not going to do that end wall yet until a little bit later. So what I have to do now is, and the same as this outside wall, that's going to get left till last, and I'll get in from the inside and do that. So what I did do is add the top post, or beam I should say, 2x6, and then I just got it sandwiched between 2x4s sitting on top of that wall there, and it's 2 feet tall to the peak, and I've got one of them cut here. They're all 45s. I made my bird's mouth a lot bigger than you normally would, but I want this roof to be nice and steep, so snow and stuff doesn't sit on it, and I am going to put eaves troughs on the side and collect the rainwater from it. So it is going to be a plastic roof. I have lots of that material around, so that's what I'm going to use. It did rain last night, so a lot of my outdoor plywood here got a little bit wet and swelled a little bit, but throw some more nails in it and that'll be fine once it dries out. And then we still have to paint it obviously and all of that. So I've got to finish cutting these, and it's relatively simple to do. You just got to cut a bird's mouth. Like I said, you don't have to make your bird's mouth that big. I am, because I want them to be a steep roof, and I'm going to close, like this gap will be a lot easier to close up on the roof to not allow in cold air and stuff. So this is also a 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle on the back end, and then you get your fascia board on the side of that. So yeah, not too hard. Once I get all of them up there, I will, and I am going cantilevering 2 feet over. I will be laddering out just to give an overhang over the entrance to the coop. So, and I also got to notch these out to go around the 2x4s on each end. All very straightforward, pretty simple. So I'm going to mark out how many I need exactly now. I've got 3 cut now that I've got a template, and they do fit both same sides. So yeah, we'll be back here in a little bit once I get them all cut and put up, and we'll take a look. Okay, my friends, well, all of the rafters are on there, and you can see down inside there's plenty of room. This is going to be more than big enough for the coop. Like, I mean, they just come in here in the winter, they'll spend more time in here, but I am going to insulate the roof with Roxol. So the last thing I have to do is go pick up some 2x8s because this is wider here. I need a 2x8 to close that fascia board in, and then the soffits are probably going to be left open and then just closed in from inside here, and then everything obviously is going to get a coat of paint, but that's going to be the very last thing. So I want to go pick up another sheet of OSB here for the other side of the roof, and when I'm all completely done this project, I will do up a list so that everybody, you know, that wants to build this size or this style, they'll be able to know exactly what they need to buy. So but yeah, so I'm gonna run up to the hardware store, pick up a few more things, and get this roof on before more of this crappy weather. It's rained 20 days out of 26 days this month, so I've as a landscaper, it's killing my business. I need to be out working, but there's nothing I can do. I can't work out in the rain, so I am just kind of puttering away at this every night and see how far along I can get. So yeah, so we'll be back here shortly, and I'll show you once I get the fascia boards on and the roof on, and we'll be back. Okay, my friends, I've got the fascia board on there. You know, I probably could have got away with a 2x6, but I like the look of that. It kind of gives it a nicer look along the side here. And yes, I realize that a good portion of the window's blocked off, and that's what I wanted. Right now I'm just cutting the plywood, or the OSB, down to size here. So I'm just about to put that piece up there, and then I'll close in that other side, and then we'll do the other side. So once I get this done, I'll bring it back and we can take a look. Okay guys, well, I've got the roof on both sides. Everything right out to the corner here. I got a 2-foot overhang. Everything closed in on the top there. So now the next thing I'm doing is, this is what I'm using for my roof. This is just a white corrugated roofing. It can be used on walls. It's for barns, actually, for the inside of stalls and stuff like that, so it's easy to wipe. So so that's what I'm using for the roof. I just cut them down to size, and then I'm going to put them up there. I mean, it's not 100% necessary to put the wood down first. You could just strap it and put that stuff on, but this stuff's relatively cheap, the OSB, so I opted to use it and put this right over top. So I'm going to get started putting that on, and once I'm done, I'll bring it back, and that's probably going to be enough for me today. And this is going to be a longer video because I'd like to keep it all in one video. You know, generally most of the rough construction, and then we'll do like finishing touches and stuff, like all the trim work and stuff on another video. But alright, I'm going to stop talking here and get roofing this. Okay guys, well, I got the roof all installed. Like I said, it's just a corrugated plastic. You could do steel, you could do other different types of plastic, you could do shingles, metal. Like, there's lots of different options for roofing. So I mean, just because I did mine this way doesn't mean that you have to do yours this way. It's just what I had laying around, and as much materials as I could use that I had already, that's what I'm doing. So because I think I'm somewhere around $400 right now at this point, and really I don't have much left. Like the brooder box, or not the brooder box, the nesting box, I've got to build still, but I still have all the materials for that. I still got to cut, obviously, these two panels out over here. But yeah, as you can see, the roof's all on. It's starting to really come along. It's starting to really look nice. It is, you know, in a central place in my yard, so I do want it to look nice. Or I could have used even more scrap materials, but try to make the outside look as nice as I can. And yeah, still have to build the door for this side. That's going to be my clean out door. And then I still have to build a ramp. I still have to build the guillotine door. So there is still quite a few things I got to do, but yeah, after a few rains that should be cleaned up. After all this is painted, I am going to put eave troughs on here and collect the water from there, and my roof downspouts there. So I will be putting a watering container right here, obviously only used in the summer, but yeah, and I've got some cool ideas for some feeders for the chickens and a whole bunch of that. So yeah, stay tuned, and the next part 2 we'll start working on doors and all the little finishing touches to get it done. So, but I appreciate everybody checking out my videos, and yeah, if you wouldn't mind clicking that thumbs up button if you like this project and you want to see more videos like this. And obviously we're going to have a whole chicken raising series and all of that, and yeah, so please remember to subscribe, and as always, if you click that thumbs up button, we greatly appreciate it. Have a great day.